Boomer Sooner.
Handoff up the middle, easy like Sunday morning, touchdown.
This is the Riverwind Casino Coach's Corner on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. Also brought to you by Dos Equis, official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And by Walden Cleaners. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. This is the Riverwind Casino Coach's Corner. Here are your hosts, Chris Plank and Gabe Ikard.
Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome inside the Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind, along with Gabe Ikard. I'm Chris Plank, and we are pumped to be joined by Sooner and tight ends coach Joe John Finley, Oklahoma legend. What's going on, Coach? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Ready to get this last week going.
It's exciting, man. To see this team and how they've persevered and what they've overcome, tough losses to Texas and Ole Miss, injuries. It's got to be pretty exciting, everything that's out in front of this team come Saturday against LSU, isn't it?
It's very exciting, man. We got one game, and everybody knows what's at stake. But guys have done an unbelievable job. Nobody would have thought this was going to happen after the Ole Miss game, and the guys just put their head down and went to work and didn't listen to a word anybody said, and they kept fighting, and now we put ourselves in a position to make a run.
Looking at where you guys are just as an overall offense right now, I know you guys want to rack up more yards and more points, but it seems like this team's found a formula to win big games. So how do you balance that as an offensive coach, knowing, hey, your guys want to produce more, you want to score more points, but the way that you guys are playing right now is working?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's what's the ultimate goal is to have more points on the scoreboard than they do at the end of the game, and that's our number one goal. That's what we focus on. We know our defense is playing as good as any defense I've been a part of. Our special teams is playing really well, and our offense is taking care of the ball. Obviously, yeah, we want to score more points and have more yards, but at the end of the day, we're going to do what it takes to win. And like Jaron said on his interview, I think he said we're close. He hates saying that, and it is. It's always the little things. We have 3 or 4 plays in that game that if we execute just a little bit better, or we put our guys in a little bit better position, coaching, then we run away with that game. But at the end of the day, this is a one-possession league, and we got to do what it takes to win. And right now, we take care of the ball, then we're gonna have a pretty good chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a gray hair-inducing league. Now, look. I mean, because you always find yourself in a dogfight every single week.
I didn't have this until we got into the SEC.
But isn't that what's great about it? You're going to be challenged every single week in and week out. There's no, I think, that rocking chair, and there's no laid-back games. You're getting a challenge every week, and we know it's going to happen on Saturday too.
That's right. We've had our guys embrace that. I mean, it's going to be a one-possession league. You're going to have to fight. Good things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. But at the end of the day, you just keep fighting. It's like the NFL. I mean, anybody can beat anybody every single week. It's going to come down to who does the little things, who takes care of the ball, who plays great defense, and our team efficiency is really what we're really proud of. We're top 10 in the country because our defense, special teams, and offense works well together, and it's working right now. Let's get a little bit better in every area and see what happens.
Looking back at the Missouri game, you mentioned there are a handful of plays that if you feel like you guys would have executed a little better, maybe that final score is looking a lot different. But what are some of the most encouraging things that came out of that offensive performance for you, where you look at it and you go, hey, we can build on this. This is something that we can really look at and improve upon?
I think we protected the quarterback very well, and we took care of the ball. I think we ran the ball well at times, and we're very close in both the run game and pass game on hitting a few things that just a little bit of little detail here and there that will make it better. But like Coach said, it's not about who's hot in the beginning, it's who's hot in the end. And so if we can continue to make improvements and get this offense going just a little bit more, all right, and our defense keeps suffocating people, I think we're going to get hot at the right time, and who can ask for anything better than that?
We know the defense is playing at as high a level as any defense in college football. Tate Sandell has been the best kicker in college football. in a weird way, is it kind of exciting for you as one of the offensive coaches, knowing that you guys still can improve so much, and like we haven't seen what this team really can be because the offense hasn't really found that rhythm yet. Like that has to be exciting for you as a coach, knowing that you guys have not peaked yet.
It's very exciting, and that's what my first message to the tight ends were when we came in and watched the game. Like, guys, if you look at this, if we just get a little bit better, I keep saying that, but just a little bit better in every area, all right, now things are going to start to come together, and it's going to be a special, special football team. And so that's what we're preaching, and you know as well as anybody, it's never as good as you think it is. It's never as bad as you think it is. And when you turn the tape on, our guys can see that, and they feel that, and they're excited about taking that next step because they know what kind of opportunity we have because of the defense and special teams play.
We're going to talk about your room. We want to talk about LSU, but also, Joe Jon, you have such a broad view of the entire offense. I'm curious to get your perspective. What have you seen as the key that's really helped this offense, this football team, protect the ball more over the last few weeks? Obviously it's an emphasis in practice, but kind of what's really stood out to you that you've seen that's allowed this team to protect the ball more?
I think obviously it's an emphasis. You know, we work it every single day, but I think our offense, they watch football too, and they see our defense and what our special teams does, and they know that before you can win a game, you have to not lose a game, and that's what they've taken it to heart. A quarterback, starting with our quarterback, you know, he doesn't put the ball in jeopardy, and then all of our skill guys, you know, we don't have to coach it anymore, which is it's fun for a coach. You know, the players in practice, they see a ball that's swinging around or loose from a skill guy. They're the ones that's coaching it and harping on it because they know they've bought into how important that is.
You mentioned John Mateer. Seems like the further he gets removed from that surgery, the more confident he's getting. It seems like his swagger, energy, whatever you want to call that, is back to where we saw it earlier in the season. What have you seen from him, not only in games, but in practice, in the locker room? What have you seen from number 10 as far as the leadership piece of things?
Man, his leadership is at a very high level. That's never changed throughout this whole process. But I think it's, people forget this. We're still in year one of this offense. You know what I mean? If you go back to look at our defense, when they were in year one of the defense, they just continue to get better and better every single year. All right, with a lot of new guys, new faces on offense, but these guys have bought in, and Mateer, he had to make an adjustment. You know what I mean? He's been through a lot with the injury. He's got a lot of new faces that he's throwing to that obviously he didn't throw to at his last team. And so I think just the combination of that allows him to get better and better and just adjusting to the league, man. These guys are really good. Every single week you turn on the tape, you're like, man, these guys are good. You know, they got really good NFL caliber players, and it's going to be a one-possession game. We got to find a way to win.
I think we tried to do this math last time. Fifth season at Oklahoma. I think you're on your fifth different offense since you've been here as a coach. So for you bring up, hey, this is our first year under this offense. What has the learning process and the understanding been like for you with the nuance and the differences from what you had with an offense you're familiar with Coach Lebs, and the adjustments you made later in the season last year from, what you learned from Coach Riley and beyond? How nuanced, how different is, and what's the process been like of learning it for you?
It's been fun. You know, I've been in so many offenses since I was shooting high school. My dad's a football coach, so I feel like I've been learning offenses since I was 5 years old. But it's been a lot of good stuff. I think everybody runs a different version of the same thing.
Gotcha.
So it's just finding the ways to communicate that with the players, exact details of what this quarterback likes, what this offensive coordinator likes, and we have a lot of really good scheme, man. It's a lot of things, but again, it doesn't matter what play you run. It's how you execute it and how you coach it, and it starts with us as coaches. And if we can get these guys to a point where they're extremely confident and playing fast and not thinking on the football field, that's when you're going to see us take the next step.
What has the collaboration with Ben Arbuckle been like for you?
Oh, it's been great, man. He's very good at what he does, but he's very humble. You know, I sit up in the box with Coach Coos, who works with the quarterbacks, and man, he's open. If I say, hey, this play looks good, man, he looks at it and he'll call it. And that's with anybody and everybody on the staff. He trusts everybody to do exactly what they're coached to do or what they're asked to do. And then I think he really does a good job of bringing everybody together. Anybody has an idea, DeMarco, Bill obviously heavy in the run game, but he's open to anything and everything, and then he coaches it like it's his idea.
That's awesome. We'll preview LSU when we come back, talk a little bit about that tight end room as well. Joe Jon Finley's our guest. You're inside the Coach's Corner. Opening segment, by the way, has been brought to you by Community Coffee. Family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference family makes. You're watching Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Bob Moore Ford, official sponsor of the Patriot of the Game. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics.
Welcome back inside the Coach's Corner. Joe Jon Finley's our guest. We're brought to you by Riverwind Casino, official entertainment destination of Oklahoma Athletics. And this segment is presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Let's talk about your room a little bit, Coach. We've seen it develop throughout the year, and it's natural to start asking about Jaren Kanak, but I want to start with Kane Helms because I feel like that's a guy we've seen now that he's healthy. He's getting an opportunity. It looks like he's getting a little bit more comfortable out there.
He is. He's one of the most trusted guys in the room. Obviously, he's been around me for a long time and been developed and just extremely happy and proud of him because obviously he went through a very tough injury and it was over a year process getting back to where he is now and excited that he's getting in there and getting to play and having fun and he's learning on the job as well, man. He's a first-year player, basically, that is getting to play this much, but I trust that guy to be in the right spot, know exactly what to do, and then, he made a few plays in the pass game as well.
You guys are asking Caden to do quite a bit in the run game. Are you seeing the type of improvement you'd like to see from him throughout the season? Because you're putting him in some tough spots at the point of attack, Joe Jon.
I am, man, extremely proud. Obviously, I'd like to see him gain about 10, 15 pounds.
He needs to be more like his coach was.
That's right.
Get that weight up a little bit. I'm with you.
He will, but man, what you don't see is how he blocks on the perimeter and does a lot of things that are unselfish. He's in protection and just more than anything, it's comforting to know when he's in the game, he's going to do exactly what he's coached to do, and that's valuable for a coach and a quarterback, knowing exactly where he's going to be.
And like you said, you've had him in there for a minute. He seems, and you can swat this to Kimbe Mutombo style if you want.
No.
But he seems like he's kind of a student of the game. Like he's always, even when he was hurt, he seemed like he was over there and he was engaged in everything that was going on. Is that a fair assessment?
He is. He's always been a professional when it comes to that. He reminds me of Braden Willis. He kind of learned from him and took him under his wing. And now in anything and everything that we do on offense, he's got it like that. He's one of those guys we can put a play in on the sideline and he knows exactly what we're talking about because we've been talking the same language for a long time. And he needs to continue to improve just like everybody else, but I'm proud of it.
Jaren Kanak had the big start to the season. Things have been a little quiet for him lately from a pass production, a receiving perspective. But how have you seen him improve throughout this season? I keep reminding myself it's the first time the guy's played tight end. I have to continually remind myself it's his first season doing it. But what type of improvement have you seen from Jaren?
I think it's the same thing, like you said. He's like a freshman out there playing the position because, not only is we're asking him to do everything that a tight end does, catch the balls. He's blocking out there on the perimeter. We got him cutting off the C gap, and so just excited with the improvements in technique that he's made. He's got a long ways to go there, but the good thing about him is when the ball gets in his hands and he's going to find a way to make something happen. And obviously the crowd loves him because he's a fan favorite, but we got to continue to find ways to get this guy the ball because good things happen when he has it.
I get a big kick out of just talking to him. He's
very entertaining.
He's a very entertaining dude. He's probably got one of the driest sense of humors of anyone. Like he'll drop a doozy and you'll walk away and you're like, wait a minute. That was a shot he just took at somebody. That's hilarious.
He's been quiet lately, I will say. And I know Joe Jon can't acknowledge this in any way, but get 12 on 42, get 12 on 7 this week.
You're looking good.
I like the matchup. I'm just saying, I like the matchup.
I bring up the personality because It's almost as if, Joe John, he's embraced that leadership that he needs to have, not only as a veteran, but first time over on the offensive side of the football. It's almost as if he's really embraced that role of being one of the voices of the team.
He really has. I mean, there's been a couple times this year in practice where it's just not going exactly how we want it to go, and he's the first one to step up and yell at everybody. You know what I mean? That's refreshing for a coach sometimes when you're not having to be the one that's getting on people. But again, like you said, just he's a mismatch problem. That's where I'm continuing to try to make him better and better, because this guy, he runs 10.5 in the 100-meter dash, and that's not normal for a tight end. Now we have to get him playing that fast on game day, and that's where he's made the most improvement, and we got to find ways to continue to put him in a good situation and good position to make plays.
You've got, an inexperienced guy in Canick. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Helms, kind of like a first-year player as well. You've got the young guys on the offensive line that are playing significant snaps for this team. How have you seen that group communicate and gel together and grow together? Because that's a lot of inexperience on the field all at one time for you guys.
It is, and we're not playing in any loud environments, are we? But it's been fun, man.
Oh my gosh, Neyland was something, bro. That was my first time there. That place.
That's what makes it
rocks.
amazing. I mean, you go into Alabama, you go into Tennessee with guys that have not only not played in those venues, but not played college football at that level, and they just continue to get better. There's not one excuse that's ever made. It's not perfect, but they don't ever make excuses. They just come back ready to work every single day, and that's why I think you're going to continue to see improvement as the year goes on, because what else are they going to do? They're freshmen and they're first-year players that are just trying to figure it out. They got an unbelievable quarterback that takes care of the ball, and they're having fun, and they're excited about the opportunity that they have.
Well, speaking of opportunities, Saturday, LSU, 2:30. What have you seen from the Tigers' defense? They're a very, very impressive defense.
Like I said earlier, every time you turn on the tape in the SEC, you're like, dang, this is a bunch of NFL football players. And they're really good at what they do, very similar to the last team that we played, because those coordinators have worked together. But they have unbelievable football players, and they have confidence in what they're doing. And they have a lot of young players. Some of their guys have chosen to sit out. One of their leaders, 40 weeks, hadn't played. He played a little bit last week. I think they had 3 Weeks brothers on the field at the same time.
There's a lot of Weekses,
which is pretty cool. But these guys are special, man. Their secondary is probably the strength of what they do. They have guys that can cover man-to-man. They play zone, but they mix it up and make it hard for you. But, again, it's going to be a one-possession game. We got to play 4 quarters and take care of the ball and do the things that it takes to win.
How important in this game, and I know you always want to start fast, especially at home, like you want to get the crowd into things, but with everything that this team is dealing with, with the coaching situation, with the transfer portal right around the corner, and some of these guys wondering, hey, am I going to be here? Am I going to be somewhere else? Like, how important do you think it is for you guys as an offense to get off to a fast start in this game?
I think it's very important just because it's important every single game, but I don't pay attention to all the transfer portal stuff with them, and because they're going to give us their best shot, you know what I mean? And they got NFL players, but I think more than anything, just to give our defense a little juice, you know what I mean? I think if they see us start fast, and that's just going to turn their level up even more, and special teams as well. And so it's always important, but this week it's going to be extremely important.
Yeah, and you mentioned the secondary. We were doing the coaches show on Monday night, and we were watching all the highlights from the Florida game. They had 5 interceptions. Don't get caught, I think, for fans, and obviously coaches don't. You can't get caught up in that Western Kentucky score, because there were some guys that didn't play in that game. But in the same vein, Coach, they put some really good defensive performances on tape this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's LSU. They got 5-star guard players. They've recruited very well, and they've been in this scheme, and they know exactly what they're doing. They play fast, and they're going to play physical, and they're going to attack the ball. And so it's just like every other week that we played, man. They're gonna have really good players that know exactly what they're doing and play fast and physical. It's going to be a 60-minute battle.
Pretty sure we get fined if we don't ask you your favorite Thanksgiving side. So, choose one.
I said last year the green bean casserole, but I'm going to go mac and cheese this year.
There you go. A necessity. We got a fight over this the other day in my family. They don't think mac and cheese is a side at Thanksgiving. So I'm making mac and cheese this year. Right? Exactly.
I mean, if it's there, it's a side.
It's a side, right? It hadn't been there for the last 2 years, so that's the point, right?
Right.
Not right. All right, hey, Coach, good luck this weekend,
Thank
man.
you. Appreciate
your time. That's Joe Jon Finley. Doug Deacon's coming up next inside the Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Riverwind Casino. It's always a good time. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Sooner Kids Club. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Devon Energy. We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics, along with Gabe Eichert. I'm Chris Plank. Thanks to Joe Jon Finley. Welcome in Special Teams Coordinator Doug Deacon. What's going on, Coach?
Not much. Getting ready for LSU. Big one.
Thanksgiving. Now listen, we'll get Thanksgiving conversation out of the way. Big plans? Are you going to be grinding the tape? What's the rest of the day look like for you?
Yeah, practice this afternoon. Then we'll be earlier than a Thursday practice normally is in the afternoon. But Coach Venables and the OU staff do an unbelievable job. We'll host a family dinner tonight, so I get to see the 3 Deacon dudes and my lovely wife post practice. And then, hey, honey, practice is coming up tomorrow. It's the full buffet menu of special teams: the hands, the onside, the core 4.
Nice.
So I might not be home till later tonight.
The full buffet of special teams.
I love that. I love that.
We got to just start with Sandell, man.
Don't bury the lead here, man.
Let's not mess this up. How good has this guy been? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. I've been watching football for a long time now. I can't remember feeling more confident that a guy is going to make kicks than what Tate Sandell's doing right now.
Yeah, he's been lights out. And again, due to the operation that goes under the radar, with Ben starting to play with the short snap, and Ulrich has been excellent in holding the ball. And then the other 8 that are protecting for him, guards, tackles, ends, our tight ends as our wings, but he's been nails. And I attribute that a lot to him taking it one at a time. And that's what he'll have to do from here on out. Don't worry about things on the horizon. It's just this rep, this moment, and he's been locked in, and he has been dynamite.
We talk to him a lot now because, he's been the star of several
Because he's
games.
just winning us games.
I don't know if I've ever met anyone that takes their role as seriously as he does, but in that same vein, Coach, has a very laid-back mindset about him. You know, he doesn't practice a lot on the sidelines. There's kickers that are over there in the net kicking all game long. He's not really one of those guys. What have you I don't know. What has been your thoughts on his temperament, kind of the way that he handles these big moments? Nothing really seems to faze him.
Yeah, that's his personality. Like I said, in recruiting, he goes in the portal, like FaceTime him, and he is in his front yard mowing the lawn. Hey, Coach. Right there, I'm like, this guy's a dude. And with that being said, it comes from the preparation from Monday through Friday, and Thursday being the last opportunity on the field. That's where he gains his confidence, so that on game day, it's not 18 kicks into the net, because then I would be a little worried, you know. But he is a veteran player also, so a tribute to that. You know, inheriting him as a junior, has a great technique and foundation, but also the confidence was during the week. Game day, it's 1 or 2, to then it's 4th down, field goal, let's rock and roll.
He has become maybe the most well-known kicker in the country because of what he's done and because of the pants. Do you just not say anything? I assume it's just like, hey, man, we found what works for you. You make those things as short as you need them to be.
You know, Gabe, I did not notice it until post-game, and my phone lit up like a Christmas tree.
Me neither.
I got coaching colleagues and across the country going, Coach, what's the deal? And I said, and I was like, this has to be AI.
Right.
You know, they're just now, this is blowing it out of the waters here. But sure enough, his pants tore at the bottom, so it was just flapping along his quad and the top of his knee. So he had hiked him up. And you watch across the country, I mean, kickers, and they'll sometimes wear the leggings so it's less egregious or not as noticeable. I'm like, well, you got to be legal. You have your knee pads in there? He's like, yeah, coach, I got my knee pads. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just making sure. But yeah, let him do his thing. And it was just abating his swing as the seam had ripped at the end of his pants at Tennessee. And again, I didn't notice, and he generally has them hiked up a little bit, but yeah, now it becomes this sensation. And as long as it doesn't interfere with his execution, I'm good with it.
It's now kind of a legendary performance because of the kicks, but also because of the pants.
Yes.
It was during the game, just like he was saying, it was the #1 topic of my family group text during the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Not any of the crazy plays. They just wanted to talk about Sandell's pants.
But I'm like you, Coach. I never noticed it. And Gabe and I are down there in the tunnel, Tennessee. We're talking to him post-game. And I'm like, boy, social media's got to be blowing up, man. That was big time for you. He goes, yeah, they're saying something about my pants. I'm like, what? That's what.
As long as he keeps making kicks, I don't care what he wears.
Bottom line, the kid's a pro. He's been outstanding. And you brought this up. It's constant competition because even your backup guys have been kicking it real well. Has that still been the case in practice too with the reps they're getting?
100%.
That's awesome.
100%. Austin Welch and Liam have not relinquished. They are just as in the competition every week, and Tate will have a miss during the week. I'm kind of like, good. In the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, you want to make everyone, but I'm like, kind of good. Because then it just refocuses him, and then like he's been nails because then he knows what the correction is before I even open my mouth.
I want to give Ben Anderson some love. I think he's one of the best long snappers in college football, and one of the reasons I say that is he's been the deep snapper for how many years, and I don't think we've ever said his name on the radio broadcast, which is a very good thing.
That is a good thing.
So what, just his consistency at that position, just how important is it for your guys' overall special team operation?
It means everything because then you're operating on time and then there's no distractions. So as we blocked a field goal versus Alabama, it went viral. The kicker got really upset. Well, he's now visually looking at his spot. The holder has to raise above his head to catch the ball. So the timing mechanism, let alone the sight of seeing the ball on the ground, it took a little longer than their normal operation, allowed the frogman and wine get over the line and help tip it. But I give that analogy to say Ben doesn't miss. And we grade him in terms of a baseball strike zone, right? You know, right from punt-wise, you know, the Sooners logo there to the knees. And in doing so, it does everything to help the punter execute on punt. And then field goal-wise, the kicker to see the ball on the ground, give Ulrich any little less. If he needs to quarter turn it, he's generally laces out too. So no Einhorn and Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn for Ulrich, but Ulrich's been nails as well. And like you said, you don't notice him, and that's a good thing. This is his third year starting, and the real competitive advantage to him is he's as competitive as it gets. He takes it as it's an art form, and he looks to get better every time he takes the field. I call him a golden lab. Why? If it was socially acceptable, he gets so fired up on game day and he makes a play, he would lick me in the face. But he holds it. But he nearly chest bumped me into the hedges in Auburn. He makes a tackle on punt. He nearly chest bumped me into the hedges. He's as fierce and loves the game, loves his teammates. He's just the battery. Why it's good, it has everything to do with Ben starting the play for both the punter and then the field goal operation.
By the way, kids, do not let the Ace Ventura Pet Detective reference get lost in this whole show today. That was outstanding. One other note. You know, Oklahoma has a long snapper in James Winchester that has a couple Super Bowl rings. Washington Warrior, great. I never knew just the pin, and Teddy talks about this a lot with the deep snapper. You said strike zone. I mean, it's right here, and it's got to be every single time. So anyone that makes light of that, Coach, that's a precision job that you have on this football team, and he does both punting and whenever it comes to field goals.
Absolutely.
For Ben Anderson, yeah.
And then the other X factor, he's 6'4". So that's why I call him Big Golden Lab, right?
Dude.
And he's involved in our punt protection, so does an outstanding job there, where it's like, how come he doesn't have 17 tackles? Well, first of all, Miller's putting up, but he's in our protection, keeps Miller clean and our shield clean, and then does a great job when he does get out into coverage, so he does it all. And you can't coach 6'4".
No, big
250.
Big humans.
Yes.
That's what you want out there on the football field,
Yes.
big humans. Now, Grayson Miller, not a very big human, but kicks the heck out of the football. What have you seen from him as far as the improvement in his execution and just the overall operation of your guys' punt team?
Yeah, starting with Grayson, he's really worked on his footwork. He's super talented. He has the leg strength. That, again, not coachable. He possesses that, God-given. What he's really improved on is his technique. So his first step, he'll shuffle, but then a short jab, and then right into his second step, he's got a great balance, and then he's up and through. He's had a few mishits, and that's when it comes awry, when we're lunging into the last step and wish we had back. But the best part about him is that he responds. Just like I talked about Tate Sandell, the same goes for Grayson. He knows exactly where the air was, and then the next rep, he immediately gets it corrected and has been a huge factor in flipping the field with the other 10 players then covering. So putting the ball in good location outside of the hash where now you're covering 20 yards of width, and the air, as we talked last time in Texas, we had 8 guys outside that boundary hash, and that's a recipe for anyone we're playing against return-wise to just, they hit it vertical without having to change direction, you're in a heap of trouble. So that's been critical in our guys covering with their hair on fire down the field. And Elijah Thomas, Sammy Omosigho, Day Jordan has caused 3 fair catches last week versus Missouri that goes under the radar, doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but he's been lights out as one of our gunners.
I'm curious, how fired up do you get when Grayson Miller pins these teams deep late in these games, right? We all know these are going to be one-possession games in SEC play. He had a massive one against Bama. He's done it multiple times this season. Like, I have to assume that's the stuff for you.
Oh, it is. And same for Coach Venables, because I showed the team the statistical significance of it. Last year, the 2024 season, when downed inside the 10, there was only 12% likelihood of a scoring drive, whether it was a field goal or a touchdown. Now, I'd have to run the numbers this year, but the same goes for this OU defense. You put them on, and again, a win's going to be 19 or better because we hit some touchbacks.
Right.
And boy, first thing I'm locking eyes. He's like, I know.
I'm so sorry, Coach.
I know. That one, I meshed it perfectly. It was like 8 deep. I was like, just give us a chance. Give us a chance, because when you put our defense on an 81-plus yard field, now when you get inside the 10 and 90, it drastically reduces the likelihood of that offensive possession equaling points versus our defense. So it means everything. So Coach let him know, too.
There you go.
And so enough said. I'm very much the technique, make sure he's good here and here, and Coach let him know, too. And he just responded the right way. Dead stare back to Coach Reynolds. Yes, Coach, I got you. And then responds the right way when we needed it most in our last 2 punts playing Missouri.
Great things you love to see. Quick break. We got more with Doug Deacon getting you ready for OU LSU next inside the Coach's Corner. Stick around.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Dos Equis, the official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. OU's 2025 football games are available on Ritmo 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on these stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show.
How about this? This is our final Coach's Corner segment with the coach for 2025. And I don't know if we could ask for a better one than Doug Deacon with the way his special teams have been cooking. And this segment is brought to you by Bob Moore Ford, the official sponsor of the Patriot of the Game. You know, we talked about Tate Sandell a little bit, but he is a finalist for the Lou Groza Award. Oklahoma has never had a Lou Groza Award winner. It's got to be pretty exciting. The Heisman for kickers, if you will. And that's, I think he's deserved. That's a really talented group of finalists, too.
Really is. You got the Tokyo Toe. You got a kicker from Georgia Tech that's been lights out. And it was something on his visit. I showed him a vacant cubby in the Switzer Center. I said, never been a Lou Groza, and we need to dust off this mantle here. That's where it goes. And he said, gotcha, Coach. So from here on out, it's one rep at a time. And for him not to lose his focus in that, and ultimately just, again, going 1 for 1 is the mantra here moving forward.
You've had a national award winner before. How exciting is that for you? Right, I know that I've been around you enough now that it's always all about the players with you. So to see a guy have this level of success and set himself up for the possibility of winning a national award, just how much does that mean to you?
It means everything, because it takes you right back to day one. First of all, meeting them and why the college game is so amazing. You're 18 to 22-year-old, the sponge years, you're developing into a man. You have these big aspirations, big dreams. And then up until this point, all of the hard work that has gone in from winter, then obviously him coming into summer, so it was a very short window, but how determined and all of the extra reps. And then ultimately what I'm most proud of is like how well he's gelled, how much a Sooner he is. And we talk about OU DNA, how beloved he is by his teammates, because yes, he's a specialist, but doggone it, he's a football player that just so happens to be elite at meshing the ball with his foot. And that's how his teammates perceive him. And so it makes me really excited because he did all of the work. I help him get there, yes, but he ultimately, between the lines, he's the man in the arena with his 10 other teammates. And boy, for all that to come to fruition, that makes it all the worthwhile.
I'm just gonna say, you better have a suit ready.
Done.
You better have your best suit ready, because those national award dinners, those things are fancy, Coach.
You've been there. You know, the Warfel Award. Fancy.
Fancy. These things keep getting fancier too.
Hey, what is it like? Well, special teams is always important, but the emphasis that Coach Venables has placed on it, to work for a coach where it's like, hey, this is a big deal to everybody involved. He joked on Monday during the Rudy show about how you've addressed the team, and he's like, I don't know what he's saying sometimes, but the guys laugh. So maybe there is a Ace Ventura joke that you slide in and coach doesn't get it. But to work for a coach that special teams is such an emphasis, what's that like for you?
It's everything, and it was very evident as you asked me on the previous Coach's Corner when he called me. I mean, I knew it because the way he talked about each player, their role on the team, how much they can bring, the athleticism, and being a defensive coach, field positions everything. And from day one, it's the best players here at OU play special teams, and not, hey, you can't play this guy, and this guy. It's very much, hey, best guys out there, Coach Deacon, and let's be number one in the country has been the mantra from day one. So it means the world, and ultimately it helps me a ton because all the guys, again, I thought I had to make it something, and I get really I got some gray hair, so I date myself all the time. Who goes Austin Powers? Yeah, baby, on Mojo Plays, and the guys have no idea who Austin Powers is. But for me to get into character,
shame, man. Those
right?
Are classics.
You know, it's having fun because it's the whole team. You're talking to and coaching the whole team. Offensive line's in there for field goal, and whether on punt protection potentially, the D line, and so on. You're talking to the whole team. So, and you've got anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. Get the point across. Make sure you got their attention, and they obviously then see on game day what that means for us winning in terms of flipping the field when it's our cover teams and putting points on the board and creating short fields in the return game.
I know there's a reason behind it, but it's something that the fan base has talked about quite a bit, is the lack of kickoff returns. Is that an analytically driven decision? Is it a personnel thing? Like, what goes into that decision where you just frankly haven't returned many at all? Now there's a bunch of touchbacks in college football now.
Yeah.
That's part of it as well. But it seems like it's an overall philosophy for you and for Coach Venables to just really not take the chances on kickoff returns.
Yeah, possession's everything. And again, we're not adding any value if we don't get across the 25. Week to week, we have return up. But we face a lot of cross kicks. You're going to get a lot of different motion pre-kick. And ultimately, when we're playing well, other teams always look to take away a possession also, whether it's a surprise onside, a bloop kick. So being really sound there. And we hadn't, because we hadn't had the right kick to us. And ultimately, yes, analytically, it's a 25-yard line start. Way to go. Like, get the offense out there. Let's go, boys, and go. And rather than sabotaging, we don't do our job when we don't have the kick we want, and then being behind the 25 and putting them in a less advantageous field position. So both go into it.
Well, we saw the perfect example of it against Bama, right? They said, hey, it was clear they came out and said, hey, we're returning kicks against Oklahoma today, and they started 5-6 yards behind where they would have if they just would have fair caught the ball.
Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. But that's a tribute to the coverage team.
Yeah.
And a guy that you had asked me, you know, who can you tell Sooner Nation that's kind of raised their game from year one that we might not know about? And the one that I failed to mention was Taylor Heim. So reserve linebacker, pretty studly linebacker core to break into. Well, boy, he's been a big difference maker on kickoff. Kip Lewis is out there, so talking about playing the best guys. Owen Heineke's out there. And then a freshman who's come on is Manny Choice, wide receiver. Boy, he is going to be special. He's still raw in terms of he hasn't had that savvy experience of game reps, but boy, he just gets better and better each week. And Jaden Hardy has really leveled up. He was a starter on all 4 last year, but he's made a huge difference to the point of the Alabama return. He fits it perfectly. Booyah! Little Stu Scott for you right at the 20-yard line.
Isaiah Sategna continues to be a big threat in the punt return game. How important is it for you? We all know what the goals are now with this season, with how this team has played. How important is it for you to have a guy that can make those game-changing plays back there as your punt returner?
Unbelievable, because there he made the first man miss. The really special returners possess, obviously, elite athleticism. Sategna, check, possesses it. But the Alabama game, opening punt, there's a player in his face literally taking his shot to then tackle him, and he literally avoids him, puts the arm down to keep himself up, and then away he goes. So the ability to make one miss is another check that Sategna has, and the 10 teammates out there work their butts off. We were, fundamentally, we needed to work on, obviously we penalized ourselves, we blocked players in the back, the team knows it. Get this guy some open field and keep my man from making the tackle. So we've cleaned up a lot of technique down the field, decision making, so we don't hurt ourselves with blindside blocks or blocks in the back. But boy, give Isaiah any sort of green patch of grass or turf and he'll take care of the rest.
Huge game against LSU coming up. What have you seen from them in the special teams phase of the game? What's the biggest threat that they present for us on
just
special
like
teams?
we got humbled last year. We're in a 1-score game, and we knock their first returner out. We cover the initial kickoffs really well, tackle them inside the 25. Their second returner comes in. It's the returners, both on punt return and jersey 0, Thomas, and jersey 6, Brown, on kickoff return can go. I mean, very special athletes and returners, excuse me. So coverage will be really critical, and we learned that when we were humbled last year as they then took a 100-yard kickoff return to the house. So the messaging this week is making sure that you eliminate him being vertical down the field, make him be lateral, and having great leverage to go squeeze and tackle him.
In a shocking development, LSU has some guys that can really run.
yeah. Breaking.
Thomas is the one that scares me. Just his elusiveness, what he can do with the ball in his hands, and that's on offense as well. They don't get it twisted. They still have some guys that can make some big time plays.
Yeah, they're impressive. Coach, best of luck this week, and always appreciate your time, man. You're awesome.
Likewise.
We'll come
Get
back.
that suit ready.
Put a wrap on Coach's Corner next.
Thank you to our Cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola. Coach's Corner is brought to you by One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, fan-fueled, athlete-focused. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino.
Final segment brought to you by Warren Cat, proud sponsor of Sooner Athletics, and our breakdown of LSU brought to you by One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, fan field, athlete focused. Gabe?
Win, and you host a playoff game.
That's simple.
That's what's on the line.
Thanks
By any means necessary.
By any means. Y'all have a great holiday. We'll see you Saturday inside the Palace. This has been Coach's Corner. Boomer Sooner.
This has been the Riverwind Casino Coach's Corner, presented by Riverwind Casino. Always a good time. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.